Welcome back to Conversations at Cannes, powered by Porter Novelli, live from the MoFilm studios. It's day 2, and we're very excited to have with us Brian Morrissey, the digital editor of Adweek. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks for having me.
How's everything going so far?
So far, so good. I got in yesterday, so I'm now sort of recovered from jet lag and ready to go for the rest of the week.
Great. Yeah, we're at day 2 now, so we're starting to hear all about all the early trends, the buzz. The short list came out this morning for the PR lines. There's a lot of activity happening all around us. And today we'd like to talk to you a little bit about your experience at Cannes and maybe ask you a few questions about the festival.
Okay.
Starting with the buzzword at this year's festival, which is, of course, social media.
Yep.
And recently, actually, you've spoken about social media at great lengths. You've even actually put together a list of social media marketing myths. We'd love to find out which myths you would like to see dispelled at Cannes this year.
Well, I mean, maybe just related to social media, but I think a big myth at Cannes that hopefully will be changed this year or maybe over the next couple of years is this idea of creativity being divorced from accountability. I think historically Cannes has been a creative-driven festival, and results have not been looked at because they think that impinges upon the creativity. I don't think that's really possible anymore, particularly because of social media. Because a lot of the goals of these campaigns are to get people to share things on their own. And now with social media, we can see who shares this. So I think when the judges are evaluating campaigns, they really intuitively know whether or not these things have been successful. So we're seeing success metrics because of social media creep into how creative-driven advertising awards are given.
And in terms of the metrics, I mean, obviously ROI is really important. And at Cannes, we have a mixture of creatives. We also have a lot of companies and brands present, and they've been talking about more accountability from social media for quite a while, and perhaps maybe even that's one of the reasons why we've seen a slower uptake than we would like. What is your thought on that level of accountability that comes from clients? Do you feel like they expect it from the creative process now?
Well, I mean, definitely. I mean, look, the recession was painful for a lot of people. I mean, it was most painful for people that couldn't show results for what they were doing. And I think with social media, I mean, like you were saying, like the shift there has not been as great as many people have hoped. And I think that's just because, big ships take a long time to turn. But I think a big thing is until social media can really prove business results, it's really going to be tough to have big money going in there. I mean, everyone talks about something like Foursquare. I think I've heard Foursquare mentioned a lot of times here. Fact of the matter is, I mean, Foursquare is still unbelievably small, and it's really, really, really difficult to prove beyond PR metrics, which is we're going to do a program with Foursquare, and we're going to get written up by Mashable and the New York Times, Bits blog, and all this. But actually showing this is moving cases, that's going to be the real test for social media programs.
And what metrics do you see as being most valuable to moving that advertising budget forward, right? What do you think is going to be the hinge on which the ROI conversation eventually turns?
I mean, ultimately, it's going to have to be tracked back to sales. I mean, whether it's not going to be direct marketing exactly, but I mean, eventually you're going to have to prove business results for a client. Like I was speaking with an executive from Unilever yesterday, and they're here to talk about this thing they did with Sapient, this happiness vending machine where you go in and if you smile, you get a free thing of ice cream. And it's really interesting and cool and creative, and people in Cannes love it and everything like that. But then he admitted, he said, look, this is in 2 markets. For this to go to 100 markets, we have to know that there's going to be real business results. And right now we just don't know it. So it's just a tiny little test. So until you can actually prove to Unilever that they're selling more ice cream because of this, then it's going to stay a little small thing.
I mean, hasn't that always been the problem at the top end of the purchase funnel, is proving real business results? I mean, I think it's sort of been a constant issue. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think social media is any different in that it's been a constant issue for anything that's building awareness. But I mean, social media has been sort of sold as this engagement and feedback thing, and that's great and everything like that. But because it's new, yeah, I mean, it's going to have a burden of actually showing that it's going to move the needle on results. And I just don't think the sample size is large enough right now for it to justify big shifts in budget.